My in-laws expected me to fund their retirement, so I said no, and they tried to turn my wife against me. I'm Daniel Carter, 35, a financial manager in Denver. I spend my days helping people plan their futures, retirement funds, investments, the stuff that keeps life steady. My office in Lodo is a small space with a view of the Rockies, a desk cluttered with spreadsheets, and a photo of me and my wife, Laura, from our first date. 5 years ago, I married her thinking we'd build a life together, house, kids, the whole deal. But her parents, Richard and Patricia, saw me as their personal bank for their dream retirement. When I said no, they didn't just push. They tried to tear us apart. This is how we fought back, and how they lost everything. Laura, 33, is an elementary school teacher with a heart bigger than anyone I know. She's patient, kind, and her third graders adore her. We met at a friend's barbecue in Wash Park, bonding over terrible karaoke and too many burgers. I fell for her laugh, her way of making everyone feel seen. She's my anchor, but her family's always been a hurdle. Richard, 62, a retired car salesman with a loud charm, and Patricia, 60, a former nurse who loves playing the martyr, live just outside Denver. They're all smiles on the surface, but they've got no savings, no pension, just big plans for a fancy retirement, golf trips, cruises, the works. They leaned on Laura for money, and I didn't mind helping at first. $500 here, groceries there. But it got out of hand fast. Richard and Patricia always dropped hints I should step up. "You're doing all right, Daniel," Richard would say at their Aurora condo, eyeing my used Jeep. Patricia would sigh over coffee. Laura deserves parents who aren't worried about money. Worried? They'd just come back from a week in Vegas. My best friend, Mike Larson, 36, a real estate broker with a no-nonsense vibe, saw it early. We'd grab beers at a dive bar in Rhino, and he'd lean in, his Broncos cap tilted. "They're mooching, man. Watch your wallet." I shrugged. It's family. My co-worker, Sophie Hayes, 34, who's always scribbling notes on her budgets, agreed. "Lock down your finances," she'd say in our office break room, her coffee going cold. I thought I could handle it. Laura's sister, Emma, 37, was no help. She'd text me, "You're loaded, Daniel. Help Mom and Dad out." Loaded? I worked hard, saved smart, but I wasn't rolling in millions. Laura was caught in the middle, loyal to her parents but trusting me. We'd talk late in our Capitol Hill apartment, a cozy place with creaky floors, a sagging couch, and a view of the city's glow. "They'll sort it out," she'd say, hopeful, curled up in her favorite sweater. I wasn't so sure. Richard's jokes about me covering their bills got bolder. Patricia's teary guilt trips hit Laura like a truck. We were close to a down payment on a house when their hints turned into demands. At a Sunday dinner at our place, the air smelled of Laura's rosemary chicken, and their wine glasses were half empty. That's when they laid it out, and everything shifted. It was a warm Sunday evening, the kind where Denver feels alive. Laura set the table with her mismatched plates, smiling but tense. Richard and Patricia were over, laughing over Chardonnay. I was ready for their usual digs, but Richard's words hit like a brick. "Daniel," he said, leaning back in his chair, "we're retiring soon. You'll cover our expenses, right?" My fork stopped midair. Expenses? Rent, utilities, vacations? Patricia jumped in, her eyes misty. "Laura deserves parents who aren't struggling." Struggling? They'd just booked a Caribbean cruise. Laura glanced at me, nervous, her hands twisting a napkin. I kept my cool. "We're saving for a house," I said, my voice even. "We can't do that." Richard's face tightened. "You're a big shot, Daniel. Don't be stingy." Stingy. I'd loaned them thousands over the years. Patricia grabbed Laura's hand. "Sweetie, you don't want us stressed, do you?" Laura stammered. "Maybe we can help a bit?" I shot her a look. Help a bit. They wanted our future. "No," I said, firm. "You need a budget, not our savings." The room went quiet, the hum of the city outside louder than ever. Laura pulled me into the kitchen after, her eyes wet. "They're my parents," she whispered, her voice cracking. "Can't we do something?" I sighed, leaning against the counter, dishes piled in the sink. "We're building our life, Laura. They can't live off us forever." She nodded, but I saw the guilt eating at her. That night, Richard called her, his voice low. I overheard, "If Daniel really loved you, he'd help us." My blood boiled. They were playing her, and it was working. The next day, Patricia showed up at our apartment crying on our doorstep. "We might lose our house," she said, hugging Laura. "Lose their house? They'd refinanced it for a trip to Italy." Laura looked at me, pleading. "Just a monthly payment?" she asked, her voice small. I held firm, my jaw tight. "They need to plan, not beg." Patricia gasped. "You're heartless, Daniel." She stormed out, leaving Laura shaken. I hugged her, her lavender shampoo grounding me. "We're a team," I said. She nodded, but I saw doubt in her eyes, and it scared me. Emma texted me, "You're letting Mom and Dad suffer. Man up." Man up? They'd never asked her for a cent. Mike saw it clearly at our usual bar. "They're users," he said, cracking a peanut. "Set boundaries or they'll drain you." Sophie, at work, ran numbers for me. "Their spending's wild," she said, showing me their public records. "Refinanced house, maxed cards." "They're hiding debts." Debts? I dug deeper, found Richard's unpaid loans from sketchy lenders. They weren't broke. They were reckless, betting I'd bail them out. Their demands didn't stop. They got worse. Patricia called Laura every day, her voice quivering. "We're struggling, sweetie," she'd say. Struggling? They'd just bought new golf clubs. She'd cry, "Daniel doesn't care about us. Is he controlling you?" Controlling? I was protecting our $300,000 house fund. Richard went further, taking Laura to lunch at a Cherry Creek cafe. "A real man supports family," he told her. "Daniel's failing you." Failing? I'd paid their electric bill last winter, $800. Laura came home quiet, her eyes red. "They're scared," she said, stirring her tea at our kitchen table. Scared? They were scheming. We started arguing. One night, Laura snapped, her voice shaking. "Why can't we help them just once?" she asked, standing by our living room window, city lights glowing outside. "Once?" I said, pulling out our budget on my laptop. "They want forever, Laura. Our house, our kids, gone." She cried, "They raised me." I held her, my heart aching. "We're your family now." But the doubt lingered. She'd read their texts late at night, her face lit by her phone, guilt pulling her apart. I felt her drifting, and it gutted me. They spread lies. At a family barbecue in Arvada, Emma cornered me by the grill. "You're cheap, Daniel," she said, her arms crossed. "Mom and Dad deserve better." Better? They'd never tapped her for cash. Relatives whispered. Richard told them I was hoarding money, abandoning family. A cousin texted Laura, "Is Daniel always this selfish?" Selfish? I was fighting for us. Laura defended me, but I saw the toll. She was crumbling under their pressure. I showed Laura the proof, Richard's loans, their spending. We sat on our couch, papers spread out. "They're lying," I said, pointing to a $20,000 debt they'd hidden. She paled, her hands shaking. "They wouldn't," she whispered, but doubt crept in. That night, Patricia called, sobbing. "Daniel's turning you against us." Laura hung up, shaken. "They're scaring me," she admitted, her voice small. I held her tight. "We're stronger than this." But then she hit me with it. She needed space, moving to her parents for a weekend. My heart sank. Were they winning? Sophie noticed my stress at work, papers piling up on my desk. "You're off, Daniel," she said, blunt. "What's going on?" I gave her the short version. "Protect your marriage," she said, "but don't fund their chaos." I joined a charity run in City Park to clear my head, meeting Sarah, 30, a volunteer with a warm smile. You look like you're carrying a lot, she said, handing me a water. We talked, life, hobbies, nothing deep. Just friends, but her calm helped. Richard and Patricia kept pushing. They sent Tom, their financial advisor, to my office, a guy with a slick tie and fake grin. Daniel, be reasonable, he said, leaning on my desk. Help them or Laura will resent you. Resent me? They were twisting her mind. I told him to leave. Laura's texts got shorter, her voice distant. I found a note from Patricia slipped under our door. Choose us, Laura. Choose? They were forcing her to pick, and I was losing ground. I couldn't let them win. Laura had been at her parents' for 3 days, and I was losing her. Mike pushed me to act. Get her back, he said over coffee at a shop in 5 Points. Show her the truth. I invited Laura, Richard, Patricia, and Tom to our apartment for a talk. Sophie helped me prep, spreadsheets, bank records, proof of their debts. My heart pounded as they walked in. This was it. Richard sat on our couch, smug, arms crossed. Hope you're ready to step up, Daniel, he said, his golf tan fading. Patricia clutched Laura's hand, teary, her perfume overwhelming. Tom opened a notebook, all smiles. Let's talk a monthly contribution. Laura looked at me, her eyes pleading, her sweater loose from stress. I took a breath. No contributions, I said, my voice steady. Here's why. I opened my laptop, showing our budget. Laura and I are saving for a house, kids. We can't afford your lifestyle. Richard scoffed. You're loaded, Daniel. Loaded? I switched to their financials, public records, loan docs. You refinanced your house for trips, I said, pointing to a $20,000 debt. Oh, thousands to lenders, maxed cards. You're not broke. You're reckless. Patricia gasped, her hand flying to her chest. How dare you? Laura's eyes widened, scanning the screen. Richard stood, red-faced. You're lying to control Laura. Control? I pulled up texts from Tom to Richard. Push Laura harder. She'll crack. You planned this, I said, my voice low. Guilt-tripping her, turning her against me. Laura's hands shook, reading them. Patricia sobbed. Laura, he's tearing us apart. Laura whispered, Is this true? I met her eyes, calm. You tell me. Do you trust me or them? The room went still. Richard shouted, Choose, Laura, us or him. Patricia wailed, We raised you. Laura's eyes met mine, tears falling. Daniel, she said, her voice breaking. I'm sorry, I didn't see it. She stood, taking my hand. I choose us. My chest loosened. She was back. Richard lunged forward. You're dead to us, Patricia screamed. You're no daughter. Tom stammered. Let's calm down. I cut him off. Get out, all of you. They left, Richard cursing, Patricia sobbing, Tom trailing. Laura collapsed in my arms, crying. I didn't know, she said. I held her tight. We're okay now. We talked all night, rebuilding trust on that sagging couch. She agreed, no contact unless they respected us. I showed her our savings, safe. This is ours, I said. She smiled, small but real. Ours. 2 years later, my life stronger than ever. Denver's home. Mountain air, city lights, the hum of our new bungalow in Highlands. I'm 37, a partner at my firm, running a free financial literacy program that's changing lives. Laura, 35, is a principal, her school thriving, her third grader's artwork taped to our fridge. Our daughter Lily is 1, her giggles filling our house with mismatched furniture and Laura's throw blankets. Richard and Patricia's manipulation broke us, but we rebuilt unbreakable. Their last desperate move flopped, and they lost it all. Laura and I welcomed Lily in our home, her tiny hands our new world. Work soaring, I landed a national client, boosting my firm's name. You're a legend, Sophie said, tossing me a coffee at the office. Laura's mentorship program got funding, her confidence back. We hike in the Rockies, plan for another kid. Life's ours, earned through fire. Patricia tried one last time. A letter came, her handwriting shaky. Laura, we're sorry. We're broke. Sick. Can we meet? Sorry? They'd tried to break us. I showed Laura, who shook her head. They're reaching, she said, steady, rocking Lily. No reply. Mike got word from a friend. Richard and Patricia lost their condo, foreclosed after missing payments. They're in a rundown apartment. Richard driving delivery, Patricia borrowing from neighbors. No savings, no friends. They burned it all. Emma called, her voice soft. Mom's in the hospital, she said. They're sorry. Sorry. They'd guilted Laura for years. Laura sighed. I hope they're okay, but I can't. I nodded, proud. Emma sent a photo, Lily's first birthday invite. I miss you, she wrote. We forgave, kept boundaries tight. Our family's us, not their drama. Richard's final play was an email to Laura. Daniel destroyed us. Come back. Destroyed them? They destroyed themselves. Laura forwarded it to me, rolling her eyes. They'll never learn. We blocked him. Online, their lies fell apart. Richard's victim posts mocked, Ask your son-in-law for cash again? Emma distanced herself, done with their schemes. Mike threw a barbecue for Lily's birthday, Laura laughing with Sophie, Sarah joining us. You two are unstoppable, Mike said, raising a beer. Unstoppable? We're real, scars and all. Cousins who doubted us apologized. We fell for their story, one said. Laura smiled, forgiving. Our porch nights with Lily, stars above, are everything. We made it, Laura said, her hand in mine. Made it? We built a fortress. Richard and Patricia bet on breaking us, lost everything. I didn't just say no, I saved us. Laura's my partner, my home, my truth. I'm Daniel Carter, father, husband, stronger than ever, and I wouldn't change a thing.